chemical, biological, radiological environment. So anyone who uses dirty bombs that maybe has biological material that can harm us, nuclear material, stuff like that, it's going to push all that outside the skin of the ship if for some reason there's any holes or anything like that. So it does pressurize everything. The doors do slam open or slam shut. So I just want to make sure everyone's good, passes through that safely. Moving on, we have our two 7-meter ribs here, right? So we have Resolute and then Conqueror's back there. With these, we can conduct PAX transfers, search and rescue missions, man overboard recoveries, you name it, we can do it. Anything on the water, right? So we conduct law enforcement, Evolution's also with it. If we want to do counter piracy, which is a big mission that we do in 5th Fleet, we'll go on, we'll board other vessels with our VBSS team, so our visit, board, search, and seizure team, and they can go and make sure that they have all the right papers, right? If they do have some kind of contraband, whether it be weapons, drugs, anything else of that nature that we deem contraband, right, we can seize that material and then also possibly prosecute them as long as we have a law enforcement debt on board for that. They both go about 30 knots with a 100 nautical mile range. You can put a M240 on the bow if you need to. We typically don't, unless we do some of those VBSS ops, stuff like that. And then same thing with the siren and the blue light for those VBSS ops or law enforcement kind of operations that we might do. They're both inboard diesel engines. And that's really pretty much it for that. They can hold 16 people, maybe a little less depending on what kind of gear you got on and stuff. So your VBSS operators, they're gonna have a M4 typically. They're gonna have body armor on. They're gonna have a bunch of kits and stuff like that to test for different things. A lot of different things to verify documentation too, whether it be laptops or other materials, right? So that's gonna carry a lot more weight. So then we're reducing how many people we can carry on those. Any questions for that?
What rates would be on the VBSS team?
So the VBSS team on a destroyer is really anyone. So it's a collateral. Anyone that we see that's athletically fit, that's interested, can join, right? We have BMs that are going to be the coxswains. They're going to be the ones driving the boat, right? And then we're going to have a boarding officer, which is going to be typically a junior officer, whether that's the VBSS officer who's in charge of the whole team or just a separate boarding officer. It could also be a chief, typically. Someone more senior that knows a lot more, right? And then you can have ITs if you want. You can have people from engineering if you want. You can have FCs, GMs, right? So gunner's mates, your fire control people, right? Your anyway, I mean RSs can do it. That mostly do ship services stuff like laundry, ship store, stuff like that. You could have your culinary specialists do it. Good question. Anything else? All right. Well, while we're here, I heard someone bring up, and they're discussing different engines and stuff that we have, so I can go ahead and address that too. Onboard Gravely and all destroyers, we have 4 gas turbine engines, LM2500s, all right, and this allows us to do about 30 plus knots. Cruisers also have 4 gas turbine engines, which essentially are giant aircraft engines made for ships, right? So a lot bigger and a lot more powerful. We have 100,000 shaft horsepower for our ship when we have all 4 engines online. And then once you get to like your LSDs, your amphibs, you're gonna have either steam power or you're gonna have diesels. Some LHDs do have gas turbines, but they're not as efficient sometimes, so they started doing away with that and went back to diesels, just giant diesel engines like most commercial vessels. And then obviously your carriers are going to be nuclear, which is a nuclear plant with a steam turbine plant on it. Your LCSs are going to have diesel and gas turbine, and they have a special combining gear that helps them loop both of those plants into each other so that they can move also. They use one for slower speeds, one for faster speeds. And then your MCMs, your mine countermeasure ships are going to be diesel, and your PCs are going to be diesel also. Anyone have any questions? I know I'm kind of going through this quick, so I'm here for y'all. What do you want to know? stuff up there. As we're walking up there, 25 millimeter. All right, that's a Mark 38 Mod 2, 25 mic as we call it. So we use that for any kind of small vessels that we might have to, either deter. Maybe they're coming at us and we want to, say, hey, we're here. We don't like how close they're getting. So you can do warning shots. Or if we have to take them out, we could also use that to take them out. We have one on each side. They're both in the same position, it's opposite sides. So one over here will walk around the other side, and you can look up and see the other one. The shells for that are about yay big, maybe a little under a foot, 7 inches maybe, something like that.
Where are we going? Next ship? Or what? Oh, okay. I think I want some water on the low key, but I don't see how they work. Like, what is that steel?
For you guys to go by or me to catch up?
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Her look at Coleman's big booty. Big booty Judy. Oof. Watch your step. With knee knockers. Ooh, this one's kind of angry. Cool.
Alright, so we'll go ahead and talk about it a little bit. The forecastle and what's on it, right? And then if you want to take pictures, I know a lot of people like taking pictures with the 5-inch. If you want me to take a picture of the 5-inch,